Oh, I've been waiting for this one for quite a while now. This series I talked about before didn't get uploaded or anything, but I talked about it before. This is the most divisive series ever. And people I know, especially someone else, and other people, they enjoy the series. And back at the time, I didn't hate the series. Back then I did, maybe growing up. But when I did the reviews from 3 years ago, I didn't hate the series. I just didn't like what they were doing. It was cringeworthy. But the series, I was like, okay, they're fine, whatever. And I've had differ from so many years. But I thought since I've done movies that are already terrible from these so far, let's talk about one that's close to decent, maybe at least average. And I'm ready, so let's scrape the bottom of the barrel and let's do it. That is 2008's Twilight. Stars Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, and a little bit of a brief of Taylor Lautner about this girl who just has a dull life for some fucking reason. I mean, it's dull. Like, she's the most dullest character ever. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. And she sees Robert Pattinson. I thought she didn't realize who he is, that he's a vampire. And drama ensues, chaos ensues, and a bunch of fighting. So, when I remember watching this movie the first time, I was like, whatever. It's there. Me, I don't hate sitting through this movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. It's an average movie. Is it good? No. Is it for the Twilight fans? Yeah, sure. Why not? But it's so cringeworthy at times. I mean, that's what the series does. I mean, this was the one that was written by Stephanie Meyer. Now, she doesn't do bad. She's just there. And I think it's an enjoyable movie if you got nothing else to do. I mean, this is something that it's supposed to do. So, and the high school stuff in this movie, that she is a high schooler in this movie. Forgot to mention it. It's there. It's just the fill in the runtime. It's not bad. I mean, it could be a lot more worse than most movies nowadays. But this one, it is fine. And for a fantasy movie, it does its job well. I mean, it's not like shit like 50 Shades of Grey. Oh, this one does fine. I mean, at least it's not just focusing on relationship. It focuses on some other stuff, like some fight scenes and everything. And they're, oh boy, we'll talk about it. We will. Well, I'm getting too ahead of myself. So back in the day, I mentioned that the acting was always terrible. It's not really maybe that. The acting's there. I mean, I can't mention that every review for all of them, even the couple that are good, I said the acting was shit. I've differed. The movie for this acting is there. It's okay. I mean, it's not that that's the worst thing. Kristen Stewart, she tries, but she's so dull as hell. Like, she's just that depressing person, like that depressing teen that doesn't really have a life, kind of acts like that, and that's sad to see it. But Robert Pattinson, I mean, before this, he was in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, right? Oh, yeah, he was. And he was great in that. This, he's there. I mean, all the acting's there. I mean, you just see everybody and you're like, okay, they're cool. Good people. You know, if I ain't with them for a little bit, I was like, you know what? Your guys are alright. You also got Ashley Green, Kellen Lutz, Cam Giganitz. I think that's his name. I probably fucked it up. Sorry about that. Anna Kendrick was in this movie too. I actually forgot about her being in this movie. That's sad. I feel bad. But all the acting's there, even the ones I mentioned, they're there. I mean, it's not terrible anymore. It's just there. I've thrown to it. But what is terrible, it is the script. Dialogue. It's not good. It's not like, oh, the worst dialogue in the world. It's just not good. And I understand that it's Twilight. They say some random shit in this movie. I mean, not as bad as 50 Shades of Grey. Don't get me wrong. This is way better than that. But I feel like this movie it's kind of cringy to what the stuff they say. I mean, even from later movies, Twilight has that effect of going, oh, it's the script that's the worst. I mean, it's not bad, but it's so there. I mean, that's real I could say with it. But let's talk about the relationship, the chemistry between Bella and Edward. I mean, it's not horrible. It's not good. It's just there. That's pretty much what I can say about this movie. It's just there. Like, it's one of those movies, if you just want to sit there and you just want to watch it for at least 2 hours, I'm like, that's fine. I mean, I'm not being a torture watching it. Back then, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not doing it. No. But if it's nothing else to do, you want to sit there and especially do it for your girlfriends, that's what I do. I mean, it's not terrible anymore. I mean, back then, it'd be like, yeah, this is horse shit probably, or just not good anymore. It's there. I mean, that's why I talk about for the first one. It was average. I feel the same way. But there were a couple improvements to what I could think it could do. But it's fine. I mean, they try their asses off as much as they can because of that dialogue, because of that script. That's all I can do. I mean, you can't expect much more from this. I mean, it is a Twilight movie. You have to expect what you're getting. And that's what I understand. I mean, I'm not a fan of it. There's a couple movies that are good. There's some that's not. We'll get to those later. But I feel like that they just try. I mean, for a first movie, they try their asses off as much as they can. I mean, they did everything that they could. So the drama relationship, it's there. It's okay. Some of the action scenes they have, there actually is some from this movie. And they're kind of shaky. Not like horrible shaky cam, like Taken 2 or Alex Cross. I mean, it's kind of shaky. And it's just everywhere at times. Like, I think there's some, but it's there. I mean, I was like, yeah, it kind of looks awkward for these shaky cams, but it was okay. I mean, it could have been a lot more worse, like Taken 2 or Alex Cross. Especially Taken 2. But it's fine. And there's some scenes that they just do just to fill in the time, and I was like, it's fine. I mean, wasn't tortured from watching it. It could have been a lot more worse than I thought it could do. But when she's getting introduced to this vampire thing, she's not freaking out. So that's some illogic stuff. Again, this wouldn't happen before, but it's kind of awkward. Like, she's not. She's just saying, like, oh, like, how do you guys do this and everything? It's like, okay, I mean, you're not freaking out. I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's bad enough she got introduced to Edward in a biology class. And he glitters from the light. Okay, I gotta say this, and it's gotta be honesty. They can't shine in light. We all know this by now. We know the history of vampires. They can't do that. So we already know this is illogic anyways, but that's more weird enough because they don't shine the light. That's the thing. But he shines like he's a disco ball. Maybe that's a nitpick, but it's awkward to just see that. Every time I watch it though, I'm like, yeah, that's just really weird. I mean, there's also scenes to where they're playing baseball. Or whatever. I think it might as well be baseball. Who cares? But it's weird. It's not bad. It's just weird. But, the very end to where this random vampire or random thing tries to turn her into a vampire. I mean, this villain, whatever it is, pops up out of nowhere. I didn't even show up to the third act, and I was like, well, they needed something in this movie, so we're just gonna throw this random person in there. I mean, I was like, okay, that's just bad, and that sucks because you could have done that throughout the movie, but no, you did it only in the third act. but tries to turn her to a vampire, stops her from that, so he sucks the blood out of her to prevent her from doing that. And she's fine. She's in the hospital, and you get other people that's going to be there later in other movies. Will not say. But, I mean, and then you see Jacob again, which you'll see later in movies, but he's got that long hair, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. But that's the end of the movie, and then we go on with 4 other movies, which we will review those. Those will be fun. But overall, Twilight is an average movie. I mean, what can you expect from Twilight? I mean, this is what the fans want. They've read them from the books. And if you like these movies and the books, no problem. You enjoy them. I mean, I don't hate them. I've barely read the books. I watched the movies and grown from the vice from these movies. And the first time I mentioned when I did a review of it for myself was average. I get it average as well. I mean, there's improvements that the acting's not horrible. It's there. It's okay. The drama relationship's also okay. It's not horrible. The script is bad, though. I will say that. There's a bunch of other random stuff they just throw in there that's actually pretty bad. Some nitpicks that I already mentioned. But some of the action that they do, some of it's kind of a shaky cam vibe. Not horrible, but just it's kind of shaky a little too much. In the ending, I was fine with it. I mean, it was not horrible. Could have been worse. It was there. So overall, I'm going to give Twilight a solid C. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's not a great movie. It's just a there movie. You know, you want to watch a movie that's nothing to do and you want to pop in a movie somewhere. There you go. There's a movie for you. So yeah, that's the review for Twilight. 1 down, 4 to go. Oh boy, we're going to have some fun. So until then, peace out.